Katherine. This is Katherine Stitching Chronicles, my channel where I talk about my love of all things cross stitch. And welcome to Flosstube number 20. So first off, happy Halloween. I'm wearing my cute little thrifted fall sweater today, which I feel like really just brings out all the cutesy, fun fall vibes. It felt very appropriate to wear for this video today. So it is the end of October, and it has been about 3 weeks since my last update. So I've been keeping things going with a lot of stitching progress, and I've got lots of gorgeous things to show you today. So I'm just gonna get right into it. So the first project that I have to show today is simultaneously a whip, a finish, and a new start. So that is the Barbara Anna Season's Dreams Stitch Along. So this started back in September. So there are 4 seasonal like dreamer girls that have been coming out every couple of weeks. So I am stitching all 4 of them on the same piece of fabric. So it's kind of like it's one big whip, but each one has been its own start and finish. So this is how it looked the last time I showed it to you in my last video. And this is how it's looking now. Get a little closer so you can see. So that's the spring dreamer, summer, fall, and there I've gotten a start on winter. So this is 40 count, one of a kind snow dyed linen from Roxy Floss. And I just love it. I think it looks so cool. And I wouldn't normally think of using something so like mottled and like, I don't know, intense, I guess, for smaller projects, but I'm actually loving how it's turning out. So since the last time I shared this with you, I obviously finished the summer dreamer. So I did 1,062 more stitches to finish her off. I started and finished the fall dreamer, so that was 3,002 stitches. And then my start on winter dreamer, so far I have done 820 stitches, which brings me to 29.2% complete of that one there. So I'm not sure you can really tell, but I've included a little bit of blending filament on each of them. So there's some blending filament in like the blue stitches here. I included some blending filament there on like some of the little yellow bits and on the sun over there, and the star as well. On the fall dreamer, I have blending filament on these little red leaves. There are, I think, 6 around the edge. And then for winter dreamer, I'm just going to use like a white blending filament, and I'm going to include that in some of the white or maybe some of the blue like snowflakes that are in the design there. So I haven't decided yet, but there will obviously be some sparkle on that one as well. I love how these look. They are so cute. And yeah, I will definitely be getting this one finished fairly soon. And then I don't know if I'm going to fully finish this right away, or I might wait a little bit. I know how I want to finish it. I just have never finished something that way before, so we'll see. But I've been loving this. This is my first Barbara Anna project, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with it. Next up, I have the Twigs and Tea Stitch Along from Fine Frog Stitching. So this is how it looked the last time I showed it to you. And since then, I have done 1,856 stitches, and this is how it looks now. Look how cute all these little characters are. Oh my gosh. And that tablecloth is just insane. So this is 28 count Creme Brulee Lugana from Forbidden Fiber Co. And yeah, so since last time let's see, I did this frame and this owl, I did this frame and this raccoon, and I did the tea canisters, and I don't remember if the table number was done yet. But yeah, 1,800 and, what did I say, 56 stitches, quite a bit. So I am caught up on the weekly releases. I obviously did not stitch all the frames beforehand, which is what I would normally do, but didn't happen this time. So there's still a circular frame here and here, and one or two more shelves. And I think there's going to be some more stuff down in here as well. So I want to say we're about halfway through. I don't remember the exact number of parts. But yeah, it's looking so cute so far, and it's been really fun to stitch on every week. Let me know in the comments which character is your favorite so far, because so far my favorite is still this adorable little goose. She's just so precious. So that is the Twigs and Tea stitch along. Next up is another stitch along. So this is the Toadghoul Terrorarium stitch along from Noctiflora Designs. I have such a hard time saying that out loud. Terrorarium. So this is a picture of how it looked the last time I showed it to you. Since last time, I have done 2,050 stitches, and ooh, this is where I'm at. I freaking love this. Oh my god, it's so cool. So this is 32 count Snow Collection linen from Enchanting Layer. So this is another one of a kind piece. And yeah, I'm pretty much completely done. I have, I think, about 40 stitches left just to stitch up the side here, but I'm gonna wait until like I do some more of the stitching in here just so I can count off of it a little easier. Like I don't feel the need to go in and count like 40 stitches 3 times to make sure it's correct when I could just stitch it later and I have more to use as a landmark. But yeah, so since last time, part 3 and part 4 have come out and I've stitched both of those. So part 3 was the entire bottom part, and then part 4 is that like log that's coming up with those blue mushrooms. Oh my gosh. And you guys, that like fluorescent thread like is so cool. It's a pain for sure to work with. It's a little bit tedious, but it looks so good. And I'm absolutely loving this. It's so good. I really like too, like how grungy this is. I don't know, like it's, the pinks and purples like make it fun, but like that log with the moss, I'm assuming it's moss. I mean, it's just so cool. I mentioned before that I've stitched her previous 2 stitch alongs. And yeah, in comparison, like I just find this one a little darker, more grungy, and I'm super into it. But while I'm here, I thought I would pull out her last 2 stitch alongs so that I could show you, because I have stitched both of them. So 2 years ago, she did the Rare Horror Fly stitch along. These are both available just as regular patterns now, by the way. If you're interested in stitching them, they're available. So this is the Rare Horror Flies. And this is 28 Mayflowers Lugana from Forbidden Fiber Co. It's just a really nice purple. So I think this was my first stitch along ever. I think so. And obviously I'm hooked because I do a ton of stitch alongs. And then last year she did the Vampirum. I think it's, I'm gonna go with Vampirum. I did this all last year too, every single video. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce it. We're gonna go with Vampirum stitch along. This one's huge. I think I want to make this into a wall hanging. I just don't know how to do that. I'll figure it out. And this is 28 count Cotton Candy Lugana from Forbidden Fiber Co. This one was awesome too. And like, I love the colors. Like, I'm a pink and purple girl. So this one was really fun. So yeah, like the Toadghoul Terrararium, it definitely is the same like spooky vibe, but I don't know, just having all those browns and that fluorescent like yellowish green in there, I don't know, it just reads like a lot more grungy to me and I really like it. My next whip is Blueberry J from Jet X Stitch. So this is how it looked the last time you saw it. And since then I have done 917 stitches, which brings me to 15.4% complete. So 30% was like my tentative goal for this month. So I was able to reach that. This is 36 count. It's green linen from Roxy. It is quite a bit lighter than the recommended fabric, and I'm really noticing that because like these olivey and light green tones look a lot different on my fabric than in the model. But I do really like it, and I really want to get some more of these blues in there because like all those electric blue colors are just so gorgeous. And yeah, I can't wait to get them on here. So I'm using almost all DMC for this, and then I used 2 fancy flosses from my collection to sub in for the called for threadworks. So this purple is a Forbidden Fiber Co, and that dark blue is a Roxy. So I'm loving this. I think it looks so good. And yeah, I'm steadily just chugging along on this. So hopefully I will continue to have time to work on this because I really would like to keep it in my whip rotation and get it done. And then I can have this in Cherry Magpie done and up somewhere in my house. Before I put this one away, I just want to point out the sections that I actually did. So I started working on this giant blueberry in the middle. I continued this down, like this kind of olivey section down all the way down here. And I did more of this beautiful dark purple stitching in here and filling in that little corner bit there. So love this one. Next up, I have Happy Halloween from Love for Cross Stitch, which is a shop on Etsy. So this one I wanted to pull out this month because it's obviously very seasonally appropriate. So I pulled this out twice, I think. This is how it looked the last time I showed it to you. And this is how it looks now. So I did 768 stitches on this, which brought me to 30.1% complete. And all the stitches I did were just like in the background. So like this kind of cloudy, misty area. So I did some stitching up here and I did a little bit down here as well. I think everything that I did was actually half crosses. There are some full crosses in this section, but most of it's just half. So it did go pretty quickly. And yeah, same for this one. Like my tentative goal / milestone that I wanted to reach was 30%, and I got there quite easily. So it's not much, but it is a little progress. So next up, I do have a finish. It's not a fully finished object yet, but I hope to fully finish it later this week. So that is part 3 of the Quintessential Frisian Smalls Stitch Along, which is done by Modern Folk Embroidery and Evertote. So the project for the month of October was the 3rd project, and that was a Biscornu. You know I love a cute little Biscornu, so I was looking forward to this one. So I have finished the stitching on both halves of the Biscornu. All I need to do is sew them together. So this is the top. Looks so good. And this is the bottom. So I stitched these. This is 28 count, just a white linen. And I used 2 Mosale silks to do all of the stitching. So that green is called Wasabi, and the variegated one is called, oh my God, Water Lilies. I'll add the name in here if I got that wrong. I apologize. For any baseball fans out there, the World Series is happening this week, and it is LA Dodgers against my beloved Toronto Blue Jays. And I'm filming this on October 28th. So last night was game 3. If you know, you know. I'm exhausted today, so I feel like that might be coming across a little bit. I'm very tired. I've got my coffee here. It's only doing so much, but I feel like words are just not my friend today. Anyway, 2 Mo-Sil silks on here. They are absolutely beautiful and so nice to work with. And I love how that variegated thread stitched up. Like, it's just so pretty. So yeah, these are done. So I just have to trim around the edges, get nice and close to that border, and then stitch them together. I was looking through my stash and trying to pick out like buttons or beads or something that I wanted to use to hold it together in the middle. So I did pull out a couple of buttons, but nothing that I had really seemed to be like the right color, the right size. It just wasn't really speaking to me. But what I did have was these really pretty beads that were left over from a Bella. I think from that Bella Filipina piece, these were left over from that. So I want to use these for that middle bit to like hold the cushion together. I just think the color works perfectly, and because they're so small, it'll fit right into that little empty spot in the middle. So that's the plan. Like I said, I do hope to fully finish this like later this week, maybe this weekend. So in my next video for sure, this will be fully finished. So that is all for the projects that I worked on in the last couple of weeks. I've had so much fun pulling all of these out and working on them, and I'm definitely really happy with the progress I've made. Just to touch on haul really quickly, I don't have very much to show you. I just have 2 pieces of fabric. So the first was my fabric from Roxy from my fabric subscription. So I'm in the Modern Fabric Club, so I get a piece of fabric every 2 months. So I get 36 count linen, and this one is called 2 Plums Up. And this is what it looks like. So it's very pretty, very nice, like fall vibes. How's the color on camera? I feel like it's pulling a bit lighter on camera than it is in person, but you kind of get the idea. It's very pretty. So I can't wait to use this for something. It's so pretty. The other piece of fabric that I have is another 36 count linen, and that is Aztec Red from Weeks Dye Works. And this brings me into a perfect segue into my plans. So one of my like priorities in the next month, we'll say, will be working on my projects for the Jingle Ball classes that I signed up for, because yay, Jingle Ball is open for registration. I'm signed up, obviously. I'm so excited. The Jingle Ball is a virtual retreat hosted by Lindy Stitches. It is so much fun. Definitely recommend signing up if you haven't already. So there's stitching rooms, there's always like a community finish parade at the end, which is really fun to see what people are working on. And there's a ton of classes. So I signed up for 2 classes this year. The first being Ginger, which is one of the classes offered by Stacey Nash. So Ginger is a little animal cracker. Myself and several others from my local stitching group are obsessed with the animal crackers. They are so cute, so adorable, and a lot of them are working on several of the animal crackers. I would love to stitch one. I just haven't gotten around to it. But when I saw that there was going to be one offered during the Jingle Ball, obviously I was like, I need to sign up for that. So that's what this fabric is for, is to stitch Ginger on. So it's just this beautiful red fabric. And so I want to start this one like now. I am doing a conversion for a lot of the colors. I do plan to pick up a couple of the called for weeks threads, but for a lot of it, I'm just using some fancy flosses that I already had in my stash. So these are the colors that I have picked out so far. So just like a plain kind of off-white, that brownish color. This green I'm gonna use for her dress, and then the pinks are used in a few places. So there we go. It looks so good on this fabric. I cannot wait to start this. Yeah, as I said, I do plan to pick up a couple of the week's colors. The called for colors just for like her fur and her ears. I want to pick up those ones, but the rest I found good alternatives in my stash. So this one I will be stitching in the next little while. And then I want to work on my project for the second class that I signed up for as well, which is Plum Pudding Bakery from Tiny Modernist. So she did a class last year for a little gingerbread house. So I'll pop up a picture of my finished house. It was so much fun. It is so cute. I love how it turned out. So when I saw that she was doing another similar class this year, I signed up immediately. And I can't wait to have a second little house. She also has a collection of patterns available on her website for a couple other like house designs. So I'm probably going to pick up that at some point too. And then I can have my little stitched like gingerbread village. So I will be stitching that in the next month as well, so that I can have it fully stitched and ready to go to assemble during the class. So I do have fabric left over from last year, so it'll be stitched on the same fabric and same count and everything. So I still need to kit up my threads for that one, but I'm confident that I have all the DMC that are called for. No doubt in my mind. So I'll be working on those two projects next month for sure. I'm so excited to start both of them. They're both such precious little projects. In my last video as well, I had talked about wanting to stitch something on a canvas bag using water-soluble canvas. So I kind of left it open to you guys to let me know in the comments which project you think I should stitch on it. I shared a few different patterns that I had in my collection. And the most popular vote was to stitch Midsummer Moth, which was an exclusive pattern from Lindy Stitches at the Midsummer Stitch, which was another virtual retreat. So that's the one that I'm going to go with. So I plan to start that in the next couple weeks as well, just to get at least started on that. And I can show you guys like how I set it up and how I get myself started while using water soluble canvas. So those are kind of my biggest plans in the next month. Aside from that, it's just, you know, business as usual, working on my SALs, trying to keep up and not fall too far behind so that I can get my ongoing stitch alongs finished sooner than later, and they're not sitting around on my wood pile. So that wraps things up for today. It is a little bit of a shorter one, but I still hope you really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see all of you again in my next video. Until then, happy stitching. Bye.